Hello and welcome to my analysis of the Champagne Stakes at Aqueduct. It's on Saturday, and it's part of the Derby Points Trail, so let's get to the field and see who I like. Number 1 is JJ Zozo. He comes from Monmouth, so he comes from a lower class, he was facing weaker horses, and I don't like his running style for this race either. He has Tip Top Thomas to his outside, they both have speed, and I think they will both hurt each other, and I will just have to pass on this horse and watch and see how he does. Number 2 is Tip Top Thomas. He broke his maiden on August 24 at Saratoga, and he only won by a head, but again, it was at Saratoga, so he was facing good horses. The fractions were fast, 21 and 4, 45 and 1, 57 2, and 110 and change for the final time. He was contesting the pace the entire time around, so he had a right to get tired at the end, but he still kept fighting. I question whether he could get 1 mile. Volatile is a new sire, but he was a sprinter in his career, and I didn't really see any clues on the dam side on whether or not he could handle 1 mile. My guess is that he wants to sprint, and they're trying to stretch him out and see if he could go past his pedigree. I'm not going to take him, and I'm just going to watch and see how he does. Number 3 is Lethal Speed. He broke his maiden at Gulfstream Park on September 7. He won it with closing tactics, winning by half a length at the end in a 6.5 furlong race. He comes from Gulfstream, so the class over there is probably lower during the summer and early fall months. It's only during the spring, when they have their championship meet, that the good horses come to Gulfstream Park. I'm going to pass on him. I want to see how he does against this type of competition. So let's move on. Number 4 is Moplex. He is 3 for 3. He's a New York bred, and in his last start, he won the Funnyside Stakes at Saratoga on August 25 by a nose, but that was restricted to state breds. On July 13, though, he won the Sanford Stakes against Open Company, and he won that race by a length. I question how strong that field was, because back in July, a lot of good 2-year-olds had not debuted yet, and if there were good 2-year-olds out there, a lot of them had not developed yet, so Moplex probably took advantage of the fact that the good 2-year-olds were scarce at that point, and I just think that there's better horses in this race. Number 5 is Uncaged. He's got a great pedigree for going long. He's by Curlin out of a Pioneer of the Nile mare, and I can't remember all the siblings, and I can't remember the dam line off the top of my head, but I think he's got the type of family that wants to go long, like 9 furlongs, 10 furlongs. This race is only 1 mile, but it's longer than his debut win, which was only 6 furlongs on August 3. He won that race by 1 3/4 of a length. I don't know how strong that field was. His stablemate Classicist ran 3rd in his next start, although he was running against good horses, so maybe I shouldn't knock him too much for that. I'm going to pass on him, but I do think Uncaged could be a good one down the line. Or maybe this week. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Number 6 is Vekoma Rides. I love the way he broke his maiden on September 14 on this course. He won by 5 lengths, but it's not really about the margin. It's more about the way he won the race, how easily he won. Let's take a look at the race. We catched him turning for home, and Vekoma Rides was widest on the turn, and he was widest in the early part of the stretch, and he's just powering away from those 2 horses to his left. And he's doing it on his own. The jockey is barely asking him. He's just easily coasting home to the wire. The jockey is standing up near the wire, and he just won so easily from a visual standpoint. My only concern is that John Kimmel is not good with stretching out his horses. It says here on Breeze that when his horses are trying a route race for the first time, he's 0 for 29 in his last 29 tries, so that kind of worries me a little bit. I do think this horse is talented. He probably has a bright future. Can he beat the favorite in this race, Chancer McPatrick? I'm not sure. There's a lot of speed in this race. Vekoma Rides is probably going to be in the stalking position 1 or 2 lengths off the speed. I prefer Chancer McPatrick at this point, but I'm going to rank Vekoma Rides second, and I think he will run well. Number 7, Smokin' Wicked. This colt usually tries hard, but he always comes up short, at least in his stakes races. He broke his maiden by 7.5 back in June. And then he went to Churchill Downs. He was second in the Bashford Manor. He was third in the Saratoga Special in August. And then he was fourth in the Hopeful Stakes on September 2. And in that race, he contested the pace early on and just got a little tired towards the end. So maybe I could forgive it. I do like the fact that he was facing stakes horses in his last 3 starts, where a lot of these horses are coming out of maiden races. I'll include him in my top 3. Number 8 is Colonel Bob. He broke his maiden by 5 1/4 lengths at Parks on August 20. It was only Parks. The competition over there is weaker. It's not a top tier track. But I don't know what to expect. Robert Reed sometimes takes these horses from Parks and brings them to a bigger track. And once in a while he does have success with those horses. I don't think he would bring Colonel Bob to the Champagne Stakes at Aqueduct unless he thought this horse had some talent. I still don't know what to expect, and I'm inclined to just pass on him and watch for now. Number 9 is Executive Order. He broke his maiden by 7 3/4 of a length on August 31 at Saratoga. At first glance you would think, oh, Saratoga, those horses must be good. But on second glance, it doesn't show in the past performances, but he beat a field of horses who all sold for 50K or less at auction. See, sometimes they have these maiden races that are open company, and sometimes they have these maiden races where all the horses in the race sold for a cheap price of 50K or less. I say cheap, that's a lot of money to me. But in the horse racing world, they all sold for a certain price, and only those horses are allowed to run in that kind of race. And he did beat them by 7 3/4 of a length, but I'm going to pass, and if he beats me, he beats me. Number 10 is Chancellor McPatrick. He won the Grade 1 Hopeful Stakes, which means he brings the best credentials into this race. Let's take a look at how he won the Hopeful Stakes. We catched him on the far turn, and Chancellor McPatrick is winding up on the outside. He's the widest horse right now, and he's a bit dirtied up because he's a closer, and he was taking dirt the whole way. And right now in mid-stretch, he's right next to Ferocious, who's the 3 to 5 favorite. But Chancellor McPatrick is going to outrun him to the wire. You can see he's just a little bit better than Ferocious right now. And he's going to outrun him to the wire and win by half a length. It was a strong performance. I liked it a lot. The fact that he's a closer is a negative. There is speed in the Champagne though, and I just like the connections. Chad Brown, Flavien Prat, they all know what they're doing. Chancellor McPatrick is the class of the field. I'm going to pick him on top. Just to summarize my picks though, I'm going to take the 2 class horses from the Hopeful Stakes. Chancellor McPatrick is my top choice. Smokin' Wicked is probably my second or third choice, maybe my third choice. We're going to fit in Vekoma Rides too. So out of the horses that only won their maiden race, I like Vekoma Rides. I think he could become a very good horse in the future, and maybe that'll be this week. He has a chance to win this week. But I do think Chancellor McPatrick has the edge. He's my top choice in the Champagne Stakes at Aqueduct, and that's my analysis for the race. Good luck, and I'll see you guys soon.